This is for all my friends at the SF Cutters meeting. I promised you a special tutorial, and here it is. The method that I'm going to talk about here is what I call cutting on the 1s and 3s instead of the 2s and 4s. And basically it's a way of looping music that would otherwise be problematic to loop because the musicians were trying to do some sort of a flourish right before the next measure. So I found a good cut of music. Well, I found a good demo cut of music. I'm not crazy about the cut, but it really shows the problem well. So here's the beginning of the music, and I apologize. It's not a big hit here, but listen. Okay, so if you want to count 4 measures, you basically got 4 measures in this first bit here where it's thinner, and then it hits the big hit here. But listen to the guitar part that's happening right in here in the end of the 4th measure. This sort of extra little scratchy bit. Now that's your big problem for the loop. So, for example, if I were to go, put a marker here right at the beginning, and then so you're not going to be able to loop that. Now, what I'm going to show you how to do, however, is we're going to count out 4 measures here, and then we're going to bring it down into a timeline and make some edits on it. So I'm going to hit home, and I'm going to use the M key for the marker, and I'm going to hit play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's your first measure, second, third, and fourth. Now, I'm going to try and do this for real, but something I don't normally like to do. I actually pre-baked one, which you'll see in a second here. So I'm going to make a new sequence, and I'm going to call it music edit. I'm going to call this music edit 1. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down here, take this guy, hit the F10 key, bring it down, rewind the timeline. If I do, I'm sorry, I just know the keyboard shortcuts. Command Option W turns on the waveforms. Hold down the Option key while you drag one out, and they both get big. Okay, so here we are. There's our count now. So basically what I was saying is, if you come here to the beginning of the cut of music, and you go forward to the end of the 4 count, and you take that and you copy it, and because we're right on the seam here, I'm going to hit Shift V, which pastes and ripples in another one. You'll notice that the loop point here is bad. So you hear the little guitar part that's coming in? Okay, that's the problem. That's why cutting on 2s and 4s doesn't work a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the 1, the end of the first measure, and the end of the 3rd measure. That's why I call it cutting on 1s and 3s. So I'm going to undo that cut. I'm going to do Option M to go back to this marker. Cut. I'm going to Option M 2 more times, go back to that marker. Now let's see. This is the real timeline that I just made off of these markers. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to copy that hunk, and I'm going to hit Shift V. And the real test will be, is it here? Because see, we see the through edit here and the through edit there. Here's the test point. So let's play from the beginning. 1, 2. Okay, so it's not quite right because I didn't drop my markers exactly right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the test one, and I'm going to do the exact same thing because I've actually done this before, and the first time through I did it much better. But it's really just a matter of practice. So let's listen. Ooh, this one's a lot louder. It's minus 12 dB on that. Here comes your loop point. And here the big in. So anyway, that is cutting on 1s and 3s. Now, is it repetitive? Yeah, it can be repetitive. But sometimes you just have to get a piece of music a little bit longer. So that's my trick for avoiding that little musical flourish that those musos like to do. Talk to you later.